everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Liora. A little bit of background about me. I'm a certified yoga instructor. I've been practicing yoga for about 10 years now, and I also have a Bachelor of Science in Health Education. So I love to find ways to bridge the two to help people in my community. When NeuroSpa TMS reached out to me, they were looking to put together a program to help people deal with stress and anxiety. And so I was happy to help spread their message because I really believe that TMS and yoga go really well together. If you're unfamiliar with TMS, it's a safe and medication-free therapy that helps with anxiety and depression, and it boasts to see positive results in just as little as 6 weeks. Today, I'm going to lead you through some simple yoga poses that can help you navigate the stressors in your life, especially during these unprecedented times as we adjust to a new normal. There's lots of mental and emotional benefits of yoga, including improved mental well-being, reduced stress and anxiety. It's a great support for depression, and it works to calm and center your mind and your nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for the body's rest and digest response. And when our bodies are at rest, it's our parasympathetic nervous system that conserves and restores our energy. So yoga, along with mindful breathing, increases activation of that parasympathetic nervous system. And then in turn, it promotes relaxation in our body, in our minds, and it reduces the stress response. So we're going to start with a simple exercise to just slow down our breath. If you'll come and join me in an easy seated pose, you can cross your legs just like this. And we'll take a moment to center our energy. Make sure you're rooting down through your sit bones. You want to find a nice and tall spine, stacking your bones. Take a deep breath in, reach your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, bring them down and around your back. Hug your ribs in together, and then reach tall through the crown of your head. Your chin is parallel to the earth. From here, bring your chin down to your chest, and then slowly roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, finding length in the left side of your neck here. If this feels good, you can hang out here. To take it a little bit deeper, you can bring your left hand to the outside of your left leg, resting on your fingertips. And slowly breathe here. If your hand is out, bring it back to your leg, chin to center. And then we'll switch sides. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Find length in the right side of your neck here. You can close your eyes, start to slow down your breath. And take your right hand to the outside of your right leg if you'd like to feel a little bit more sensation here. Bring your chin back to center, and then we'll sway side to side, right ear to right shoulder, back to center, left ear, left shoulder. And then at your own pace, slowly take some of these neck rolls, starting to loosen up. And come back to center, and then lift your chin back parallel to the earth. We're going to focus on harnessing our Ujjayi breath. So breathing slowly and mindfully in the yoga practice is really important to slowing down the body and activating that parasympathetic nervous system. So mindful breathing is what's going to promote overall blood flow. So we're going to focus on Ujjayi breath. So this is a strong and victorious breath. That's what we call it in yoga. We're going to do a small exercise here to start getting settled into this breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill up your lungs completely, and count to the count of 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you exhale, bring your hand in front of your mouth, and you're going to exhale as if you were fogging up a mirror, making a deep, audible sound. We'll do this 3 more times. Deep breath in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, fogging up that mirror. It's audible, sounding like an ocean wave. 2 more. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, audibly. Last one, deep breath in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, Ujjayi breath. So you'll notice that as you're exhaling, the muscles in the back of your throat are constricting, and that's what's causing that sound. When we move through our yoga poses, you want to keep that audible sound, but also have your lips sealed. And that's what Ujjayi breath really is. So let's focus on that right now, keeping your lips sealed. Take a deep breath and fill your lungs completely, breathing into your chest for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lips sealed. 3, 2, 1. Twice more, just like that. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Last deep breath. Inhale. Ujjayi, exhale. Nice, deep, and audible. All right, so now I'm going to guide you through some simple and yoga poses that you can do at any time in the comfort of your own home. Maybe if you have a little bit of space in your office. These are some really great poses that you can include into your daily routine just to start bringing more inner peace and relaxation into your life every day. And then as you move through these poses, be mindful of this Ujjayi breath. So you want to keep this deep, audible breath as you're either moving or relaxing in each pose. Our first pose is going to be child's pose. This is a great pose for calming down the mind, activating your nervous system, and stretching out your hips. So for child's pose, you'll want to come on a mat or a piece of carpet, whatever is available to you. You'll bring your big toes together under your seat and separate your knees out wide. If you have any low back issues or your hips feel a little bit tight, keep your knees together, but otherwise we're going to go ahead and separate them nice and wide. You can take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, slowly start to walk your hands out in front of you and lower your torso between your thighs. You want to melt your forehead down into the earth so that it connects to the ground. You're going to stay here for a few breaths in this shape. I'm getting some questions over here, so let's see. Go-to pose to calm down when you feel high anxiety. Well, child's pose is really great for that. So it's going to allow you to stay here and just quiet the mind. You can stay for as long as you need to, breathing. So let's go ahead and explore a little bit more of this pose together, since this is one of my favorites. From here, press firmly into your hands and push your seat back towards your heels to lengthen your spine. If it feels good, your forehead is on the earth, you can slowly rock your head side to side. And then to take the stretch a little bit deeper, feel free to start walking your hands over to the left side of your mat or your space, still reaching your arms out long and finding length in the right side of your body. And with every breath that you take, visualize the ribs on your right side of your rib cage growing a little bit further apart from one another. So really creating space in your rib cage. And then slowly walk your hands back to center and all the way over to the other side so we can balance it out. Lengthen the left side of your body. Keep reaching your arms out long in front of you and pressing your seat back towards your heels. With every breath you take, visualize that left side of your rib cage growing a little bit taller. Inhale, come back to center. And then walk your hands towards your knees as you lift your spine and come back to a nice seated pose. So that was child's pose. It's really an easy one to do whenever you're feeling stressed. You can start to really come back to center, find your breath, and hang out in this pose for as long as you need to. Next, we're going to do 2 different spinal stretches. So to explore these spinal stretches, you want to come into a tabletop position. Coming into tabletop, you'll be on all fours. Mindful that you're stacking your hips directly above your knees and your shoulders directly above your wrists. Spread your fingers wide like starfish so that you can see the color of your mat between them. Our first pose is going to be cow pose. For cow pose, you're going to lower your belly button down towards your mat as you tilt your tailbone up. And then reach your heart forward through the gates of your arms and pull your shoulders towards the back of your space. Here you'll begin to look all the way up towards the ceiling, finding an opening in the entire front side of your body. Breathe here. Keep actively pulling your shoulders back and reaching your heart forward. The next, we'll move into cat pose. To transition into cat pose, this is a nice counterbalance, a counterbalancing spinal stretch. You're going to press firmly into your hands. Begin to round your spine and tuck your tailbone and your pelvis under you as you look towards your belly button. Finding a nice rounded back. Create a dome shape in the space between your shoulder blades. Reach your heart up towards the ceiling and then look down towards your navel. You want to really push the earth away from you with this pose. And the wonderful thing about these spinal stretches is that you can really create a link between your movement and your breath. So as you inhale, you can reach your heart forward, coming into cow pose. Exhale, round your back, tuck your tailbone, cat pose. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, round down. Let's go ahead and come back to sit on our heels. If you're following along, good job, everyone. Thank you so much. We're doing wonderful. These are poses that you can include either separately or later I'll show you how to link them together. So you can kind of pick the ones that you like the most. Let's see, we have some questions coming in. If you feel that you carry stress in your back, what poses would you recommend? That's an awesome question, Rachel, and we will get to that very soon. So stay tuned and keep following along. Thank you so much for asking. So we've already done 3 different poses. The next one I'm going to show you, which even if you're not familiar with yoga, I'm sure you've heard of this pose. It's quite common. It's called downward facing dog. So let's get back into our tabletop position, and I'll show you how we get into downward dog. So from tabletop, you want to tuck your toes here. So all 10 of your toes are tucked underneath on the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Grip down through the knuckle bridge of your hands. So that's the place where your fingers meet your palms. You want to really firmly root down into the L of your thumbs and index fingers. Take a deep breath in. Begin to hover your knees off of your mat. And as you exhale, you're going to straighten your legs and send your hips up and back. As you straighten your legs here, your heels might not quite reach the ground. Maybe you're here, and that's okay. If your heels don't reach the ground, bring a generous bend into your knees. Okay, flexibility comes with time. We all start off somewhere. You want to bring a generous bend into your knees, which will press your low back higher up and give more room here. In downward facing dog, you want your feet to be about hips distance apart and your hands to be shoulder width distance apart. Take a deep breath in and then press your heart further back towards your thighs. Relax your shoulders away from your ears and hug your ribs in together. This pose might be a little bit challenging if we're holding it for a long time. Feel free to take some movement that might feel unnatural in your body here. So what I like to do in downward facing dog is alternate bending knees. So I'll bend one knee and then the other, kind of pedaling out my legs. This feels really nice in the back of your thighs, starting to explore any movement that feels natural in your body. And then we'll slowly come back to stillness. Here you can shake your head yes, no, and maybe so, releasing any tension in the head, neck, and shoulders area. Take one more deep breath in your downward facing dog. As you exhale, lower your knees back down to your mat and then come down to a seated pose. So thank you so much for following along with that pose. I hope that felt nice in your body. Feel free to explore it on your own time after this video and just notice any modifications that you can make, maybe bending the knees, shaking your head. Really, yoga is a personalized practice. So even if you practice with a teacher and they'll tell you to do a certain thing, notice what feels good in your body. So if that means making it a little bit more less challenging or adding certain movements. Ultimately, you're here to feel good about yourself, and you are your own best teacher. So you listen to the wisdom of your body as you're moving through these poses. So to answer your question, Rachel, a pose for stress in your back. This is going to be our last pose that I'm going to explore with you today, and it's called Ragdoll. It is an amazing pose for releasing any tension in your low back. So particularly Ragdoll, but any type of forward folds in general are going to be really good for your low back. So let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a standing pose. You want to stand with your feet directly underneath your hips, so about hips distance apart. I'm going to turn around to better demonstrate. From here, you'll take a generous bend in your knees and fold forward over your legs. You want to bend your knees deeply enough that your belly or your torso rests on the top of your thighs. And then you'll release your head down so that it feels heavy and hangs towards your mat. And grab a hold of opposite elbows here. So you're gonna reach your hands around for your elbows or your biceps. And you're just gonna let gravity do its job here. Let your spine waterfall out of your low back. Your head hangs heavy towards the earth. We're just releasing the blood flow and really helping our spine decompress here. You can hang out in stillness. So if there's stillness, just be with it and breathe into it. And if there's movement, if movement feels good for you, you can slowly start to sway your upper body from side to side. Take it at your own pace. You can rock as fast or as slowly as feels comfortable in your body. Take it at your own pace. Beautiful. Release your fingertips back down to your mat. Slowly bend your knees and come all the way to a seated pose. Let's meet back here. Let's see. How can I improve my flexibility over time? I am not flexible and never thought to start yoga. That's a really good question. So I appreciate you asking that. As a yoga teacher, I get told this, asked this all the time. So basically, people will tell me, oh, well, you know what? I'm not flexible enough to do yoga, so I'm just not going to do it. And to me, my answer is that flexibility is not a prerequisite of yoga. It is a product of yoga. So the more you come to your mat, the flexibility will come along the way. But to really get started in a yoga practice, the only requirement is to have a body. And so you've got a body. So all it takes is just meeting yourself where you're at. You can find lots of resources on YouTube, online for beginners yoga classes. And one of my favorite quotes is, do your practice and all is coming. So we don't necessarily want to come to our yoga mats with an end goal in mind. Yoga, more than learning, it's about unlearning. It's about shedding our skin and really coming into realizing who we are on the inside. So do your practice and all is coming. No goal, just come to your mat, show up for yourself consistently, and what you want, what you feel like you need out of your yoga practice will come out of it. So let's take a moment to talk about flow state. Flow state is a concept in positive psychology that refers to a state of being. And so this state of being called flow it can be likened to being in the zone, when you're so immersed in an activity that you feel like you're really in the zone and nothing can distract you. So flow state, it comes from being fully immersed in something. And the benefits of being in the flow state is that it really helps us to relax and promotes overall happiness. So yoga is a great way to achieve that flow state. And so now that we've done these poses, we've really broken down the specifics of the poses. I'm going to show you now how to link these poses together into a sequence so that you can experience this flow state, or that you can start to tap into the energy. So these poses that I've demonstrated, we're going to move through them breath to movement. It's going to be one breath, one movement. So one at a time, right? So if you'll go ahead and come back to your mat, and where we started from before, we're going to come into our child's pose. We're going to run through this sequence twice, breath to movement. And again, listen to the wisdom of your body. So if it's ever too much, come back to child's pose, slow down, and take a moment to really catch your breath and return to your body. So let's find our child's pose. Bring your big toes together, separate your knees out wide. Remembering your deep audible ujjayi breath. Deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, walk your hands out in front of you, lower your torso between your thighs. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, tabletop, stack your shoulders over your wrists, shins parallel to one another. Inhale, cow pose, reach your heart forward, look up, tilt your tailbone up. Exhale, cat pose, round your spine, look to your belly button. One more time. Inhale, cow pose, reach your heart forward, look up. Exhale, cat pose, round your spine, look to your belly button. Inhale, cow pose, reach your heart forward. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Lift your heels and look between your hands. As you exhale, start to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Take your time to get there. Ragdoll, bend your knees, grab a hold of opposite elbows, and sway your upper body from side to side. Find stillness at center. Release your fingertips to the earth. Plant your hands firmly. Plank, step your feet all the way back to a nice strong plank. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Child's pose, press into your hands, reach your hips back. We'll do this once more, breath to movement. Inhale. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, heart forward. Exhale, cat pose, round your spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Downward dog, tuck your toes, send your hips down. Inhale, lift your heels, look between your hands. Exhale, slowly walk your feet towards the top of your space. Ragdoll, bend your knees, grab opposite elbows, and allow yourself to surrender to this forward fold, releasing your low back. Bring your fingertips down to the earth, bend your knees, come onto a seated pose. Extend your legs out long in front of you. After flowing through this sequence, we're going to come into a nice final relaxation. Go ahead and lay all the way down onto your back. Let your palms turn up towards the ceiling. Separate your legs. I'm going to come up just to talk to you, but go ahead and relax all the way onto your back. Allow your eyes to fall shut if that feels safe and comfortable in this space. Focus on your breath. So letting go of any thoughts that are not serving you in this present moment. Tune out the inner dialogue of your mind and tune in to the sound and quality of your ujjayi breath. We'll be here for a few moments. Separate your teeth. Allow your jaw to relax. Let go of any hold of your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let your body soften and become heavy. With every exhale, feel yourself melting deeper into your mat. Letting your bones be just as heavy as they are, and your muscles wrapping around them like a soft blanket. Surrendering. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, you can sigh it out. Let everything go. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can make circle with your wrists and your ankles. Bring your knees into your chest, and as slowly as feels comfortable, make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. We'll all meet here. I hope that you feel restored in your mind and in your body right now. I know I did get some questions asking about how to start a yoga practice. So I just wanted to share with you from my experience a few things that have really helped me cultivate my own personal yoga practice, especially in the middle of a pandemic. It can be a little bit stressful if you're used to going to the gym or any other way that you exercise, and now we're confined to being in our homes. So one thing that's really, really helped me is setting up a space in my home that is just dedicated to my yoga. And you don't need much space at all, really. Even if you don't own a yoga mat, a piece of carpet is totally fine. But in this space, I leave my yoga mat rolled out, and I've made it inviting. So I've put some candles, some of my favorite pictures, and some incense. And I leave my mat rolled out because that way when I see it, I'm more drawn to it, and it's kind of staring at me like, haha, come on, get on your mat, like you haven't gotten on today, you know? So just having it in plain sight and visible and always ready and rolled out is definitely going to be a visual cue to tell you, hey, start your yoga practice today. You haven't done it yet. So that's a good way to start being consistent, to setting up your space. And then another thing that helped me start a consistent yoga practice was setting small and attainable goals so that I could see success. And what I mean by that is telling myself, okay, I'm going to do yoga for 2 minutes every day, rather than telling myself, I'm going to do an hour of yoga every day. Because 2 minutes, you can do anything for 2 minutes. You know, that's a lot more doable than saying, oh, I'm committing to an hour every day. So my goal was small, 2 minutes every day. And then as I started those 2 minutes of yoga, it went by so fast that before you knew it, I was on my mat for way longer than 2 minutes. But just because my goal was small and attainable is what helped me keep my practice consistent. So that's a great tip. And if you ever do start using this tip of mine, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to know how it's working out for you and help you on your yoga journey. So now that you've learned these simple poses and tips, I hope that you're able to incorporate yoga into your daily routine to promote relaxation in your mind and your body. And remember that if you feel stressed, you're worried or depressed, you're really not alone. You can call NeuroSpa TMS to talk with them. Their team is more than happy to help you. Before I go, I want to thank everyone for joining in and NeuroSpa TMS for giving me the opportunity to share how yoga can help relieve symptoms of stress. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. They'll be offering wellness sessions every week this month. So you can tune in next week for a session on breath work and really tapping into the power of breathing to promote relaxation. Thank you again so much for watching. It was such a pleasure. I hope I answered all of your questions. If you have any more, please type it in the comments and I'll be here to answer. Thank you so much again to NeuroSpa TMS and all of you for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.